Hey there, you winner. See, you got my shirt. I'm trying to go macho here. Hey, this Facebook Live is all about what I believe is the greatest book you may have never heard of. You hear that? The greatest book you may have never heard of. Hey, Matt. And I tell you, there's so many great books out there. It's easy to go into a library or a bookstore or even jump on Amazon and be overwhelmed with all the great books that they have out there. And, I read a lot of books. I'll probably read somewhere in the area of a book a week because I just love getting information. As a matter of fact, this book even talks about having a success consciousness. And once you have a success consciousness, it develops in you a desire, a hunger for information that's going to take you to the next level. And I can definitely say this book has that for sure. So you might say, well, what's the name of the book? Well, here's the book. I hope it's not backwards. Maybe it is. I'm not sure how to reverse this thing. Let me see if I can reverse it. I'm not sure. Anyway, I'll tell you what the name of the book is. It's Success, the Glenn Bland Method. Again, that's Success, the Glenn Bland Method. And I so highly encourage you to get a hold of this book. Now, there's a good news, bad news scenario in all of this. The good news, let me tell you the bad news first. To get a copy of the book as you see it in my hand right now, I looked at Amazon just a few minutes ago. It is $79 for this book. $79 for this book in this format. That's the bad news. The good news is there's a updated version of it. I think the only thing they changed was the cover, but there's another version of it that you can get a hold of, and it's actually like $11. You can get the Kindle version for $9.99. Now, don't let the price fool you. I think the price should be probably closer to that $70 than the $9.99. And the reason why is because I believe that if you take action and you do everything that's listed in this book, you're going to see incredible results in your life. I look back on the first time I read this book, which was literally decades ago, and I remember what a difference it made in my life then. And picking it up was like picking up an old friend. And as we go into the new decade, as we make some new goals for what we want to accomplish in the next year, I tell you, this is a book that will get you positioned. In fact, let me tell you a little bit about, I'm going to read the success process that's in this book. And it doesn't give anything away. There's no spoiler here because you'll want to get this book to dig down deeper into it. But let me tell you, this is Glenn Bland, by the way. Glenn Bland was a guy who built a very successful insurance organization. And he started, behind the eight ball, if you will. And then over time, because he applied these principles that you'll see in here, he was able to build a very successful, thriving business. He has a couple other books that are also awesome, but this is the core one. I'm telling you, get a hold of this, you got a hold of something. So he lists 7 steps to what he calls a dynamic success plan. They are, number 1, let God guide you. Number 2, establish a faith period. You'll see what that is when you read the book. Powerful. Number 3, crystallize your goals. And one of the things this book does fantastically is it helps you set goals. Everybody talks about how important it is to set goals, how important it is to have written goals, blah, 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 blah. But they never necessarily tell you how to go about setting powerful goals, short, medium, and long-term goals. This book does that. Make a plan of action. Goes without saying how awesome that is. Develop a burning desire. No one has ever achieved anything of any importance that lasts without having a burning desire to get there. So, to develop that with this book, awesome. Believe in yourself, and that could be, the biggest reason why people don't set goals. A lot of times people don't set goals, I think about here in Columbus, Ohio, we have this thing called the Parade of Homes. And up near Cincinnati, Ohio, which is about an hour and a half drive from here, they have something called a Home-orama. And I've talked to a number of people about, do you attend those things? Because you go there and you see these, in Columbus they usually have somewhere in the area of $500,000 to $1 million homes, all in a neighborhood. And you walk through them and you can get ideas. You can actually find out how much that home is worth, blah, 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 blah. And the Cincinnati one is even better, in my opinion, because they start at about $1 million and they go up. So I ask people, do you go to these things? And by and large, a lot of the people that I talk to don't go. And the reason why they don't go is onefold, because they don't believe they can have it. And let me tell you something. They wouldn't build these houses if someone couldn't buy them. And if someone can buy them, why not you? I'm not saying a house has to be your big deal, but I guarantee you that the person who bought that house, if they did it from a standpoint of integrity, did it because they brought service, they brought something to the marketplace, and they're being rewarded financially for it. So anyway, believe in yourself, number 6. And then number 7 is never give up. Never give up. So if a little book like this can instill in you those 7 things, how valuable can it be? If it changes your mindset to the point where you take those 7 steps that it talks about right there, you put feet to them, and you're actually able to create something in your life. You see what I mean by when I say this book would be worth more than $10? I mean, you literally can get this book for the cost of going to see a movie. You walk out of the movie, if you like the movie, let's say best case scenario, you still got to spend another $10, $20, which if you want to buy it when it comes out 90 days later. I'm telling you, this book will change your life. If you actually do something with the information. You got to read it. And I'm not saying just read it. Read it. I do have it on Kindle, but if you were to look in this book, you'd see all that yellow? That's highlighting. That's me highlighting it, the things I wanted to pull out of this book, because you don't go to a book just to get something, just to read it. You go through a book to pull something out of it that's going to help you move forward in life. And when you do that, you master the book. Think about it. Glenn Bland, when he wrote this book, it was the best he could do. He took his paper and he said, I want to put my best thoughts, my best results, I want to put that out there in the marketplace and make it available for people. And we get to pick his brain. The mentorship that comes out of a book is incredible. So that being said, I've said enough about this book. No, I haven't. But I said it hopefully enough to get you to take some action on it and invest in yourself to the tune of $9.99 to get a hold of this book. And I'm telling you, you will thank me. I want you to send me a message after you've read this book and tell me that, man, I can see why you were so excited about this book that literally came out. Let's see, how old is this book? Let me look here. This book came out in 1972. That's how old this book is. But the reason why it's so relevant today is because it's built on principles. Not little techniques that come and go, but principles of success. There's probably, an interesting thing about this book is one of the last chapters he has is a suggested reading, a bibliography of suggested reading. And he lists a number of books, quite a few books in here that he feels that you should read. And again, this being written in 1972, there's obviously things that are missing, and also the fact that it was written in 1972, things have changed. And I looked at the list, and the list is a really good list, but it's not the same as the list I have. The 5 books you should be reading right now. In fact, it's kind of interesting. You might say, well, it's because your list is full of books or has books on it that are newer. And that's not necessarily the case, because one book I'm thinking of that was, I feel, an omission from this list was actually written well before this book was written. So if you'd like to get a hold of that book list, inbox me. I'll be happy to get it to you. I want you to have this information. Angie just put a note in here that readers are leaders. And it's the truth. If you're someone who's willing to invest in yourself in terms of reading, and don't get hung up. I mean, if you're not a reader and you prefer to do it on Audible, that's all good. That's all good. Just get that information. But do more than just let it come in. Let it come in your heart. Put it into action. Put feet under it. And I'm telling you, you can be a life change that can go on to not only success, but as I've talked about before, significance, meaning that you not only create the things that you want for your life, but you help other people create what they want for theirs. So that's all I have. Again, inbox me. I'll give you that top 5 list. And I'll tell you, spoiler alert, this one is one of them. So get a hold of this book, inbox me, and I'll talk to you soon. Have a blessed and awesome day. Bye-bye now.